Where are you taking us? I shout. Let us go.
Your shout is muffled by the coarse sack over your head, but a sharp, painful punch to your gut is the only answer you receive. A gruff voice growls, "Shut up or the boy gets a matching bruise." You are dragged through the city, the sounds of the crowd fading away until you are thrown into what feels like a cold, damp cell. The sack is ripped from your head, and you find yourself in a stone room with a single barred door. Pip is nowhere to be seen. What do you do?
I give myself a strip search to see what I have on me, then try and get the attention of someone to tell them I am thirsty.
Your search reveals you are still wearing your dramatic cloak and your clothes, but your dagger, the stick, and the chest are gone. The compendium of insects, however, remains safely tucked in your pants. You rattle the bars of your cell door and shout that you're thirsty, and after a moment, a small, barred flap in the door slides open. A pair of cold, disdainful eyes stare back at you, and a voice asks, "Who are you, and why were you asking about the Dawnbringers?" What do you do?
Not to be rude, but I believe you heard me when I said I am thirsty, and have not acknowledged my statement with a response, so I find it hard to answer both your questions. We can make it a game, you ask, I ask, and back and forth like that.
The eyes behind the flap narrow, and a low, menacing chuckle echoes in the corridor. The game is this: I ask, you answer. You get water when I am satisfied. Now, for the last time, who are you and why do you ask about the Dawnbringers? The flap remains open, a silent, demanding portal in the otherwise solid door. What do you do?
I close the flap in the door, then open it, saying, "Just kidding. I'm Duskasser, a great and well-known bard singer, and the other lad, he is my drummer. We were supposed to perform a spectacular ballad. We were asking for directions to meet the other performers." "Dawnbringers of no, a common mistake," I said. "Gone singers, yeah, they are supposed to open for us."
The eyes stare at you, unblinking, for a long, silent moment. Then, the flap slams shut. You hear a heavy bolt slide home, followed by the sound of receding footsteps. You are left alone in the dark, damp cell, your throat still dry and your questions unanswered. The only sound is the faint drip of water somewhere in the distance. What do you do?
Man, that's gonna make me more thirsty. Okay, well, I need to check in with Pip and this thirst situation, so I reach into my pants and take out the scroll, find familiar, and summon the crab. I say hello to the crab and say, "Can you help me, new friend? Go find Pip, I have to ask him something."
You pull the parchment from your pants, its words glowing faintly in the dim light as you complete the ritual. With a small pop, a tiny crab appears, clicking its claws and looking up at you with beady, intelligent eyes. It scuttles over to the cell door, and to your amazement, begins to squeeze its body through the bars, its form shimmering as it flattens and flows through the solid iron to the other side. It looks back at you, waiting for your command, a tiny, loyal spy ready to search the dungeon for your friend. What do you do?
"Can you find my friend Pip? I need to speak to him."
The crab licks its claws in understanding and scurries silently down the dark, stone corridor. Through your mystical bond, you experience its journey, the feel of the cold, damp floor, the sight of other locked cell doors, and the sound of two bored guards playing dice at the end of the hall. The crab finds Pip in a nearby cell, curled up on the floor and sobbing quietly. Through your familiar senses, you can hear him whispering to himself, "I shouldn't have taken the dress, I shouldn't have taken the dress." What do you do?
As the crab, I scurry over to Pip and give him a pinch on the bottom. I communicate to him saying, "Pip, it's me, Duskasser, might I borrow a cup of sugar?"
The crab scurries over and delivers a sharp, surprising pinch to Pip's rear end. He yelps and jumps up, rubbing the spot as he looks around wildly. Through your familiar senses, you project your message, and Pip's eyes widen as he seems to understand, a mix of relief and confusion on his face. He whispers back, "Duskasser? A cup of sugar? I don't have any sugar. They took the chest." His voice rises in panic as he realizes the absurdity of the situation. What do you do?
"Pip, we may die down here. Or maybe just you, they seem to be taking a liking to me. What do you see in your cell? We need to get out of here." Click click, the crab's pinches go.
Through the crab's eyes, you see Pip's cell is identical to yours: cold stone, a pile of filthy straw, and a heavy barred door. He whispers back, "It's just a box, Duskasser. There's nothing here." The crab clicks its pinches again, and Pip flinches, looking down at it with wide, terrified eyes. He then whispers, "The guards, they have keys. Big iron keys on their belt. One of them is really fat and keeps getting up to stretch." What do you do?
Crab, go get the keys and be sneaky about it. I will cause a distraction. I yell, "The Dawnbringers, oh those guards, I remember now."
You take a deep breath and bellow, "The Dawnbringers, I remember now." Your voice echoes down the hall, and you hear the guards scramble to their feet, their dice forgotten. Please make a charisma performance check to see how convincing your distraction is. Meanwhile, the crab, a tiny shadow against the stone wall, begins its stealthy mission towards the distracted guards. Please make a dexterity stealth check for the crab. What do you do?
I rolled a 7 and the crab rolled a 2.
Your shout is met with derisive laughter from the guards. He remembers now, does he? One sneers, as the other casually strolls towards your cell, his hand resting on the hilt of his sword. Your distraction has failed, drawing unwanted attention rather than creating an opportunity. Worse, the crab, in its haste, knocks a loose stone from the wall. The clatter echoes in the silent hall, and the fat guard glances down, spotting the tiny creature just as it tries to scurry behind his boot. What in the hells is this? He mutters, reaching down to snatch the crab up in his meaty fist. Your familiar is caught. What do you do?
I guess we gotta wait this out until they tell us what they want or kill us.
The fat guard holds the squirming crab up to the light, examining it with a cruel curiosity. He looks from the crab to your cell door, a slow, nasty smile spreading across his face. Well now, he calls out, looks like your little pet found its way into a trap. He squeezes his fist slightly, and you feel a phantom pressure in your own chest as your familiar lets out a silent, psychic scream of pain. You're going to tell us everything, the guard sneers, or I'll make you feel what your friend is feeling piece by piece. What do you do?
I say, hey big guy, why don't you pick on someone your own size, but that might be hard to find. Oink oink, your mother never loved you and all the other guards think you are too needy to hang out with. This is my spell, dissonant whispers.
The fat guard's eyes go wide as your whispers worm their way into his mind, his face contorting with sudden, visceral terror. He screams and drops the crab, which scurries back to your cell door, then claps his hands over his ears, stumbling back and babbling about the voices. The other guard rushes to his side, drawing his two swords and glaring at your cell, now convinced you are far more dangerous than they initially thought. What do you do?
I cast charm person on the guard and convince him to kill his friend.
You reach out with your magic, targeting the guard rushing to his friend's aid. His angry expression melts into one of placid confusion, then dawning loyalty as he looks from you to his still screaming partner. The charmed guard draws both his sword, but instead of facing you, he turns and plunges them into the back of the fat guard, who falls silent with a final, gurgling gasp. The charmed guard then stands over the body, his sword dripping, and looks to you for his next command, his face a mask of serene obedience. What do you do?
I tell him to get the key and let me and Pip out and collect our things. We are getting out of here. I pick up my crab and wait patiently.
The charmed guard nods, his expression vacant, and calmly retrieves the large iron keys from his fallen companion's belt. He unlocks your cell first, then moves to Pip's, swinging the door open to reveal the terrified boy, who shrinks back at the sight of the guard and the bloody sword. Your Bellinger's chest, the stick, the sunburst symbol and your dagger in a small pile near the guard's table, just as you commanded. What do you do?
I take one of the swords from the guard and hand it to Pip. I also take my stick and say, Pip, grab the chest. I search for an escape route.
The longsword Pip now holds deals 1 slashing damage, a significant improvement over his bare hands. Your sharpened stick, now a makeshift spear, deals 1 for piercing damage. As you gather your things, the charmed guard points a trembling finger towards a dark, narrow staircase at the end of the hall, leading upwards. He whispers that it leads to the kitchen and is rarely used at this hour. What do you do?
I tell the guard to go lock himself in the cell. We head to the door and exit.
Without a word of protest, he goes to lock himself in the cell as commanded. You and Pitt slip through the kitchen and push open the door, stepping out into the cool night air of a narrow, refuse-strewn alley. The city is quiet, save for the distant drunken laughter and the clatter of a night watchman's patrol on a nearby street. What do you do?
We need to prepare for this mission. How about a little nighttime heist? We need potions and scrolls and weapons and some crab food. We search for a closed shop we can break into. We are breaking bad now, Pip.
Pitt swallows hard, his knuckles white as he grips the blood-stained sword, but he nods in agreement. You creep through the alleyways, your cloak billowing like a shadow, and soon spot a small, unassuming shop with a sign depicting a bubbling flask, the alchemist's note. The windows are dark, and the door is locked, but a small back window on the second floor looks promising. What do you do?
Man, I only got 3 spell slots left, so we got to make it count. I tell Pip to stay outside and cover me. If we get any unwanted attention, then I will attempt to climb up to the window using lucky feet for advantage. I rolled 15 with advantage.
With a grunt, you scale the rough brick wall, your lucky feet ensuring your handholds are secure. You reach the second floor window and find it is indeed unlocked, swinging open with a faint, protesting creak. You slip inside, landing silently in a dark room filled with the overpowering scent of herbs and chemicals. Shelves line the walls crammed with bottles, jars, and bundles of dried plants, while a workbench in the center is littered with beakers and half-finished concoctions. What do?
I will like to try and identify the jars and bottles. I roll for Arcana check if you allow that. Here goes, that's a 19 I roll.
With your impressive Arcana check, you quickly identify the most valuable items on the shelves. You see a potion of heroism, shimmering with a golden light, a vial of silvery potion of invisibility, a murky green potion of poison, a swirling purple potion of diminution, and a vibrant red potion of fire breath. For herbs, you identify a rare bundle of alchemical silver, useful against lycanthropes, and a small pouch of gillyweed, which allows underwater breathing. Knowing your carrying limits, you must choose which 3 potions and which 2 herbs to take. What do?
I will take the potion of poison, the potion of heroism, and the potion of invisibility. Oh, also both the herbs. I look out the window and drop them down to Pip so I can take more.
You carefully open the window and signal to Pip below, then drop the potion of poison first. Please have Pip make a dexterity acrobatics check to see if he can catch the fragile glass vial.
Oh man, I didn't think I would have to roll for that. Well, I'm already on this slope and stated my action. Pip rolls a...
Pip dives for the vial, but his fumbling fingers only manage to deflect it, sending the potion of poison shattering on the cobblestones below. A faint, acrid hiss rises from the spreading puddle, and the distinct smell of bitter almonds fills the air. You now have 2 potions left to drop, and Pip looks up at you, his face pale with the fear of failing again. What do?
I drop the potion of invisibility. Pip rolls the oh for God's sake a 7.
Pip lunges desperately, but his hand closes on empty air just as the potion of invisibility shatters on the ground. The liquid doesn't spill, instead, it erupts in a silent, instantaneous burst of shimmering energy, and Pip vanishes from sight. You are now alone in the alchemist's shop, with only the potion of heroism and the 2 herbs left to drop to your invisible friend. What do?
You mean to tell me I have to drop the next one to someone I can't even see? Okay, here goes nothing. I drop the potion of heroism, telling Pip if he doesn't catch this one then he is not the hero. I roll for Pip and he gets a 20. Hell yeah.
Did you roll for Pip with disadvantage because he is invisible?
No.
Please roll another 20.
So the old rules for thee, but not for me. Okay, you adversarial DM. I will roll again, but I am not happy. Pip rolls a 15.
With a 15, the invisible Pip still manages to catch the potion of heroism, though you hear a startled yelp and the sound of something heavy bumping against the wall below. You now have only the 2 herbs left to drop. You must decide if you will risk dropping them to your unseen companion or keep them for yourself. What do?
I'm going to keep them for myself and take the potion of diminution and the potion of fire breath for all the trouble this caused me. I climb out the window.
You carefully pocket the 2 herbs and the remaining 2 potions, their glass clinking softly as you secure them. You then climb out the window and drop to the alley below, landing with a soft thud. You call out for Pip, and a moment later, he shimmers back into view, clutching the potion of heroism and looking sheepishly at the 2 dark stains on the cobblestones. The alley is still quiet, the city none the wiser to your clumsy heist. What do?
We wander out in search of sleep and food.
As you and Pip slip out of the alley and into a slightly more open street, a small figure darts out from the shadows, a flash of steel in their hand. Before Pip can even react, the figure, a filthy and wild-eyed boy, stabs Pip deep in the thigh with a rusty dagger. Pip cries out in pain and surprise as the boy rips the blade free and sprints away, his panicked face illuminated for a moment by a distant lantern. You recognize him instantly. He is the boy you put in the hole and the missing urchin the Dark Syndicate is after. Without a second thought, you give chase, your cloak billowing behind you as you follow the terrified boy through a maze of narrow, winding streets. He leads you on a desperate chase, his small size allowing him to slip through gaps you cannot, until he finally scrambles over a low, crumbling wall. You follow, finding yourselves not in another street, but in the overgrown, rubble-strewn courtyard of the old, burned-out chapel. Finn stands panting in the center of the ruins, his back to a large, gaping hole in the chapel's floor. What do?
Stay tuned for part 6 of the series. It will be the finale. Maybe like a season 1 type situation, who knows? Thanks for watching, Discusser out.